Well, hello there. It's the 11th of July 2020, or at least I think it is, and here you are with Dan in Essex, UK. So, picked some blueberries today, and I'm quite happy with the harvest there. I'm hoping that this is in good focus so you can have a look at these blueberries, but you can see there's certainly a good size, a good amount of them, and each blueberry, is a decent size. So I'm very, very happy. So, these have came from these plants here, okay? So I've got an assortment of varieties. So I've taken great care with my blueberry plants because I wanted to get good crops. Okay, so blueberries require an ericaceous, an acidic growing medium, okay? pH of 4.5 to 5.5. If they don't have this, they won't thrive. The plants will lack vigour. They'll show things like pale green leaves. The plants will look weak. The chances of getting a decent crop are small, and if you do get a crop, it will be weak and just generally not that good. So in the past, I have tried the sort of, let's just put it in and see what happens approach, and it basically didn't work, okay? So if your soil is not suitable for growing blueberries, so pH 4.5 to 5.5, you can always grow them in containers like I have here. So, but of course, if your soil is right for them, then by all means grow them in the ground, and they can be used to make quite attractive hedges. So there we go. Now, with regards to how I've produced these, so I'm going to link some videos down below, and I'm also going to put some videos on the screen so you can see the story behind these blueberry plants, but I'll just sort of summarize it. So these ones here I purchased from Scott's Nursery, I believe that was the name, but I'll link that website down below so you can have a look on that. They were very good price. If I remember correctly, they were about £3.50 each. But as I say, if you check that video out, Scott's Plants Direct, that's it, Scott's Plants Direct, and you can click on that website and have a look if you indeed wish. I'm not affiliated with them in any way or anything like that. I'm simply just saying how good the price of the plants were and how good the plants have been. So generally, in my experience, I've found that blueberries kept, under the correct conditions, they put out lovely shoots such as this. You can see this is a bit of new growth, okay, just here from my finger up until the end. Now, plants that are not being grown the correct way won't grow and will look poor. So these are more mature plants at the back here. So I was given these actually a few years ago, and I've gave them great attention over the last year or two. Now they looked weak, okay, up until that, but they've really done well. So look at this growth here, look. So if you look at this just here where my finger is, sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there to the trunk, if you will, the main stem, just there. That's it. You can see just how much that's grown. So really happy. So there are some more here, okay. These once again came from Scott's Plants Direct. Now, got an assortment of varieties, okay. So I've got Spartan. I'll let you have a read of that if you're interested. These are Gold Traub. Now these ones down here are variety Elliot. These are Jersey. And here I have Duke. Okay, so why do I have so many different varieties of blueberry? Now, the majority of blueberries are self-fertile, but it's said that if you have more than one variety, they'll produce better crops in terms of cross-pollination. So you've seen the varieties there. I'm not 100% sure what varieties these other plants are because I was given them. Something tells me they may be blue crop. I can't remember if I was told that they may be that, whether that's just coming out of here. Either way, I don't know. But blueberries are perfectly hardy in the UK and similar climates. So you won't have an issue with hardiness. But, so what you need to do when you plant them out in the pots, or if you're going to put them in the ground, whatever, in a raised bed, you need to make sure that the pH is 4.5 to 5.5. So you can buy purpose-made Ericaceous compost, or you can make your own out of things like pine needles, things like that. And I've done that before. I'll link that video down below as well. You can put some Ericaceous release feed in there if you want. And what I've been doing is giving them every other week. I'm giving them an Ericaceous drench, okay, to keep that growing medium how it needs to be. So every 2 weeks I give them that, and then 2 weeks later I give them a balanced feed 555 potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus in order for their health, okay. So these have been given a lot of, TLC. You'll know very quickly with your blueberries if they're not looking right, if they're not healthy, because they just will look weak, okay. So regarding watering, I've been watering them every other day. Now, as much as possible, I've been using water butt water, rainwater, because tap water tends to be more alkaline, and if you're putting that on the growing medium, you can make the growing medium alkaline, which is the opposite to what you want. You want acidic. So I've been doing that. I know that's not always possible. Ideally, when they're cropping, you should be watering them daily, but that's not always practical. So every other day I've been doing, and I brought them in here because I noticed that, I think it was the blackbirds or whatever, they really love blueberries, which is fair enough, they're hungry animals. So these blueberries are really growing well, and I can't remember the amount of plants that I actually have, but I got them in a different combination size pots. Now these ones down here produced the best, interestingly, in these small pots, and so I've got some Duke here. Now I don't know if I mentioned it, I've also got Spartan as well. I can't remember if I mentioned that one. So I was told a while ago that blueberries like to have tight roots because they're shallow rooted, so that they can do okay in small pots, as you can see that these variety Duke have done. Now blueberries, I think they're a great thing to grow. If you are only going to grow just a few fruits, would I recommend you go for blueberries? Maybe not, because for the cost of the plant and the care that can potentially be required, I'm not sure if the effort to benefit ratio is high enough to justify getting them. It's up to you. But of course, if you love them, they're your favourite fruit, why not? But you'd probably get a better yield for less effort with something like gooseberries or raspberries, and if you include taking runners, strawberries. So there you go. So I think blueberries are very much for the enthusiast, and I know that commercial growers that are growing them in non-ideal conditions, they sometimes do struggle to keep the plants healthy. So that is a consideration. So basically, Ericaceous growing medium, Ericaceous drench every 2 weeks, balanced feed every 2 weeks, and rain water ideally every day, or at least every other day when they are cropping. And they like at least 6 hours of full sun a day, ideally a bit more than that. And the rest of the time, keep the birds off. And that really should be a very simple way for you to produce blueberries. Have more than one variety for cross-pollination if you can. Thanks for viewing, peeps. You can check me out on Dan_Home Gardens on Instagram if indeed you're interested. See you next time.